Let's deal with the business first of all. Your adjusted earnings collapse by 56%. Just how bad is it in terms of this? When are you going to get control of these numbers, Ingo, and turn this situation around?
Well, good morning, Magnus and Neil. Thanks for having me. Yes, the tough market environment continued in both of our key markets, automotive and general lighting. We posted a decline in revenue of 13.5% and an adjusted EBITDA margin of 8%, significantly less than a year ago. A big factor for us was China again, where the business declined further. We had a weak Q1, but even in the second quarter, the business in China for us was now down by approximately 30%, and China makes up for 20% of our overall business. And we saw still destocking in our supply chains, both for automotive and general lighting here in Europe, as well as in APAC. We took action on costs to countermeasures. We increased our savings targets to more than 200 million by 2021. And we believe now, when we look at the second half, that things will stabilize somewhat for us. And we're quite confident on the back of the cost programs that we're running.
Ingo, great to speak to you this morning. Some of the commentary coming through from your CEO after the earnings is that your long-term strategy of implementing new applications in the LED sector remains intact. And he says the focus is on optical semiconductors, automotive and digital applications. You just talked about some concerns in China. And when you look at those sectors, semiconductors, automotive, the trade war springs to mind. Of course, there's a lot of trade angst in markets at the moment. How concerned are you that your business could take a hit if we don't get a deal and tariffs are increased on Friday?
Well, the impact if those tariffs would be increased would be, I think, twofold. First of all, it would still create some havoc probably in global supply chains, especially in our customers. And we would see an increased impact from tariffs in the second half. And the number is roughly 20 million that we expect for the full year if the 25% is being increased. But the bigger impact will be on the supply chains. Now, we first have to see whether they will be implemented and how. We already have 10% today, so we've seen also some effects, and that's what I was mentioning when I was talking about destocking. So we have to see how that will develop. It's difficult to predict.
Ingo, the one thing that the market wants to know is Carlyle and Bain talking to you. Some people are saying if they walk away from you, it's going to be fatal. How do you rate the probability of doing a deal with them? Is it 50-50? Have the percentages slipped? Give the market some sense of an assurity, or perhaps we should have a risk warning attached to these talks. Where do you stand percentage-wise?
Well, I can't give you probabilities here. The only thing I can reconfirm is also what our CEO said before, that the talks with Bain and Carlyle are continuing. They're progressing. The due diligence that we're doing is underway. But, of course, there's still a chance that it's open whether there will be a bid or not. I can't put a chance on that right now.
Ingo, the other thing that you've been doing is trying to diversify away from being as reliant on automotive revenue as you are now and getting into things like horticultural lighting. How do you see that market developing? How is that diversification going? How soon will it happen?
I think it will take some time because still today more than 50% of our revenue base is based on automotive. And we like automotive despite the cyclicality that we see now, and that will also be an engine of growth once we come out of that correction that we see now. So we have to be careful to mix up an economic slowdown and some corrections with our strategy longer term, and to build up additional businesses in horticulture and other areas will take some time. But they are progressing very well right now. We made an acquisition a year ago in that market that is almost growing with 50% at this point in time. But it'll take some time because automotive is a very big share of the Osram business today.
Ingo, I'm going to come back to the talks with Carlyle and Bain. If these talks do not succeed, what is the backup plan? Are you going to have to take serious action in terms of reducing the size of the business? What is the plan B?
Well, there is no plan B because we continue to implement our strategy. I mean, as I said, we've taken measures on cost to respond to the market slowdown that we're seeing. And as you refer to our CEO saying that we will continue to build up businesses outside of automotive, that we will continue to do as we do it today.